Welcome to my seminar entitled Keys to Goal Setting for Career Development or Advancement. I'm glad you guys joined. This is going to be a great session. It doesn't matter how many people showed up. It's going to be a great session. I have a lot of good information for you, and it's free. Took me years to get this information, and I myself am mentored. So this is good information for you. Something to think about. Why are you here? What drove you to join this session? Could it be that you're looking for change or a change in job or increase in salary? What was your reason? You can feel free to put it in the chat box. And I'm monitoring the chat box as well. And tell me what's your reason for doing this. While you do that, just a little bit about myself. My name is Dr. Peterson Merville. I typically go by Pete, Dr. Pete, and you'll see me on socials as Dr. Pete as well. I am a combat Army veteran, and I am of Haitian descent, as we just covered. I am a respiratory therapist by trade, but I am currently a nursing home administrator, a business consultant, and a professor. So some of the classes I teach is strategic management and marketing, leadership classes. What else I've taught? I've taught nursing home administrator course, long-term care administrator course. So I'm glad I have reinvented myself several times. So I put this package together to share with you all what I did to be who I am and to get where I am. Okay, I started out very young in my field, and I'll go through that a little bit afterwards. In my 30-year career as a leader, I see somebody put in their growth professional and as an entrepreneur, awesome. Personal growth and development, awesome. Good reasons. In my 30-year career as a leader, I've come across many that have dreams of doing something. They are either looking for more money, a better job, a better fit, a different profession, but are often stuck. They are uncertain about what to do or how to go about doing it. Then there's the question of whether you're ready to move. Some can always find a reason not to start. Some say they have small children. I can't start because I have small kids. Others say I have too much debt. Some say they have no money, and so on and so on. The truth of the matter is, you wait for things to be perfect before you start on your dreams. You will be here next year. We'll be having the same conversation. The same conversation. You'll be in the same position, no movement. Perfection is a killer of dreams. We wait to be perfect. We wait to get things in order. We wait for everything to be aligned the way we feel it needs to be aligned before we make a move on what we believe our calling is, our purpose is. And it ends up delaying or demotivating us from achieving what we want to achieve. Perfection is a killer of dreams. I once stood in that same position, always making excuses about why I could do something or I couldn't do something. Always devoting my energy, or sometimes devoting my energy on the negative rather than focusing my energy on the positive. Oh, I don't understand why they didn't choose me for this job. Well, don't worry about that. They didn't choose you for whatever reason. Let's not focus our energy. Let's not focus our energy on what we don't have, but focus our energy on what we could have or what could be. When we spend too much energy on the negative, we get nowhere. And when we're moving, we're filtering the positiveness of what can happen with the negative. I'm going to say it again. Perfection is a killer of dream. If you're not moving, get moving. So if you're someone looking to grow, this is for you. If you're someone looking to perhaps increase your potential and earning potential, this is for you. If you are someone who has a good career and looking to pivot, this is for you. If you are someone who wants to learn tools to help you fight procrastination, this is for you. And maybe perhaps you are someone who is on the road, but you got stuck. This is for you as well. All right, so welcome to this course. I apologize for my voice. 3 days ago, I lost my voice. It always happens. It's funny how when you make a decision to do something positive, here comes the devil. Here comes something to get in your way, to block you. I encourage you, when that happens, push past the resistance. Push past the resistance. There's always going to be resistance when you're doing something great. The road might start going, tilting steeper and steeper and steeper. But the key is to stay on target. Stay on target, because eventually you're going to reach the mountaintop. You won't reach the mountaintop if you stop and turn back. So keep moving forward. So let's talk a little bit about potential. Many people have potential, but it stays right there. No movement, no progress towards their goals. In science, there are different types of energy, and I look at energy as work, as movement. Each type performs the duty or work relative to their name and purpose. Take, for example, thermal, kinetic, elastic, nuclear, atomic, aquatic. All these are different types of energy, and they perform the duties relative to their name, their work. But there is one in particular that is very troubling: potential. Potential energy. You say, Dr. Pete, what does this have to do with this session? It has everything to do with it. We are talking about your potential, my potential, potential to do better, the potential to be in purpose, potential to do better than what you're doing now. Potential has the capability to achieve, but does nothing. When you think about potential in science, I saw some documentation where it says it's like a car at the top of the hill. It has all the force and energy to go down that hill and to travel in the direction it needs to go, but it just stays there, immobile. With all that pent up energy, nothing happens. Sometimes opportunity doesn't knock. You don't get a knock on the door. Sometimes you have to push the door open. You have to make an effort or even put yourself in position for the opportunity. Any of you all Christians in here? Are you all believers? Type in the chat box if you are. Is it okay if I mention something that is biblical? I don't want to offend anybody. I got yes, yes, yes. Okay, awesome. So there is a parable in the Bible where there are 10 versions. 10. And they're getting ready to go meet the groom. They're getting ready to go meet the groom. And so out of the 10 versions, 5 are wise and 5 are foolish. The wise one took extra oil because they didn't know how long they were going to have to wait. So they took extra oil with them, just in case, so they can have enough, so they wouldn't miss the opportunity to see the groom. The foolish ones, they just took enough. They took their candles and their wick, and that was it. They took, and the oil that was in the candle, that was all they took. When they got there, they waited a long time. And then they heard a noise. The groom was coming. Well, the 5 wise had oil. The 5 foolish ran out. So they started asking the wise one, hey, let me get some of your oil. The wise people said, nope, we got enough for ourselves so that we can see the groom. You might want to go to these merchants down the block, see if you can buy some for yourself. So they left to go buy some. And when they got back, the door was closed. What a bad place to be in when you had the opportunity, but you didn't prepare or plan. You just sit in that potential. Didn't make a plan or nothing, didn't prepare nothing. You didn't look at what was necessary to get to your goal, and you didn't make it because you didn't prepare. And the opportunity came and you missed it. I like this parable because it really brings home that message. Of course, there's a biblical message behind that, where Jesus is talking about, hey, I'm coming, you better be ready. But we can glean, we can pull, we can extract some principles in our daily lives. That means that when we are wanting to set plans and want to reach a goal, preparation and plan is important. All right? So potential is not enough. Everybody has the potential to be great. The point is, are you going to move towards that, or are you going to stay still and do nothing and help no one? So the history of goal setting came about with Edwin Locke. He's an American psychologist and pioneer in goal setting theory. Researchers, he's the researcher behind it and championed the theory on goal setting. Locke believed that individuals who set specific and relatively challenging goals perform better than those who set non-specific, general, and easy goals. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to set a goal. You set a goal for yourself, it almost makes you aligned to achieve it. This simply means that if you're going to move towards goal attainment, goal is a tool to keep you motivated. It keeps you on track. But be careful of the type of quality of your goals so they don't affect how well you work through it. Sometimes we set too high of a goal and we can't make it. Okay. Another guy by the name of J.D. Rabin Reinstein, he had 3 pillars of his theory, which were motivation, commitment, and self-regulation. Motivation being the one thing that drives you, the defining factor that gets you going in the first place. So let me ask the question, y'all can put it in the drop box, in the chat box. What motivates you? Do you know what motivates you? What gets you moving? Family, all right, I like that. Family keeps me motivated too. Interestingly, my son is in this class. Hi, son. So purpose, love that. Purpose. Eternity. Okay, we got some good answers here. So those kind of things get you guys motivated. That's good. The next one is commitment. Commitment is your willingness to see it to fruition. Goals require your full commitment, 100%. Have you ever heard of the concept of 212? The concept of 212 says is this: water gets really hot when you put it to fire. 200 degrees, 205 degrees, 210 degrees, 211 degrees. But something significantly happens at 212. Water changes its state into something very useful. Gas, vapor. And it takes vapor to get a train to move. Just think about 1 degree more of your commitment can be the difference. You moving from one state to another. The third one that Reinstein recommended was self-regulation. Achieving your goal takes discipline, persistence, consistency, and perseverance. Anything great, anything important in life that you want to achieve requires some consistency, some persistence, and definitely some perseverance, because there will be some tough times. One of the problems that I've noticed is that we often get overwhelmed by the choices that we make. I know I do. There are a plethora of ideas and resources, and we just get stuck and overwhelmed. Does that resonate with you? Does that resonate with anybody? I mean, you have so many ideas and you don't know where to go, where to start, where to go. You know, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be in music, I want to be in real estate, I want to get a doctorate, and you just get kind of stuck because, well, which way do I go first? Which way do I go first? So if that resonates with you, let me hear what you got to say in the chat box. J.D. Reichstein, he developed a principle to help people through that. It's called the 80-20 principle, or the law of vital few. This principle helps you focus on what's really important and leaves out what's not. So identifying what is important to achieve your desired goals and what can be minimized. This helps you focus your energy on what is important. The premise to this principle is that 20% on what's important will yield you more. This is true in sales, real estate, different ideas, different businesses. It is a law in human psychology that states that 80% of success comes from 20% of the causes. So if you could just hone in on a few things that you want to do, work towards them, and you will see how far you will get. It's kind of similar to master of none, you know, that jack of all trades, master of none. You know, choose something that you're going to be really good at and then get good at it, you know, and then you'll see how far you go. That is called it's a law in human psychology, and it's called the law of vital few. I encourage you to look that up and review that further. So what are the 5 keys to goal setting? Here they are. Clarity, challenging, commitment, feedback, and task difficulty. These 5 keys to goal setting works in any industry, works in your personal life, works in anything you want to do. Clarity means that the goals must be comprehensively clear and measurable. Goals that are measurable and time-bound are more achievable. So has anyone ever heard of the SMART goal? The SMART goal gives you clarity. It's an acronym that means S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, T is time-bound. Okay? SMART, the specific part, means what will be accomplished? What is the end goal? I want to be a doctor in the next 15 years or the next 10 years. By the year 2028, I want to be a physician. Or I want to get my doctorate in the next 10 years in XYZ with a concentration of this. What actions will you take by going to school this many times a week for this many years? What data? M is the measure. What data will measure your goal? I want to sell real estate. I want to sell real estate, small family homes, single family homes in the city of Macon. I'm going to check discretionary income, and anyone with a discretionary income of greater than 70,000, I'm going to send them a flyer, and my hope is to get at least 20 leads every week. You see what I'm saying? They are more specific. And then you can measure that data, because if you only get 10, then hey, I missed the mark a little bit. So what am I doing wrong that I didn't get 10? So I can adjust my goal based on my measure. A Is it doable? Remember, I told you earlier, be careful that you don't set goals out of your reach. You can have a stretch goal and then cut it down bite-sized pieces. But be careful that you don't get a goal that's not achievable, that you don't create a goal that is not achievable or doable. And then the thing about it is, do you have the necessary skills and resources to achieve that goal? So achievement, a part of achievement is having the necessary skills or resources to make whatever needs to happen, happen. R is relevant. How does the goal align with your broader goals? Why is the result important? Why is it important to you? Does the goal align with, you said purpose. Some of you said purpose. Does it align with your purpose? Does it align with your family? Does it align with your relationships? Does it align with your belief? Is it relevant? That's R. T is time bound. What is the time frame to accomplish this goal? See, when you set a SMART goal, that's your motivation. That's your motivation, and you track yourself to make sure you meet those benchmarks. So, for example, if you want to lose weight, generalizing the goal by saying you want to lose weight this year by going on a low-carb diet, that's vague. This goal is general, and it's not really actionable. Goal setting also keeps you on track and targeted, intentional about what you do. You find that when you set a goal and you're working towards a goal, if it doesn't matter, if it's not going to align with what you're doing, you're going to move them to the side because you want to be intentional about your movements. You don't have time to waste. So another way to set a weight loss goal would be to say, by the end of the year, my goal is to lose 50 pounds. I will lose 4 pounds per month by having a 30-minute brisk walk 3 times per week and focus on eating foods that are low in carb, low in sugar, and less than 2,000 calories or 1,500 calories per day. Notice this goal is much more specific. It's also measurable. Well, I only lost 2 pounds this month. Well, what? Oh, yeah, I had that pizza the other day, so I need to cut the pizza down. You see that? So it helps you realign and reshape and move towards your goal. It's not a failure. Don't look at it as a failure. This is your goal. This is your mission. This is your vision. And don't notice that it's also time bound. My goal is to get it done by the end of the year. But I also set another goal within that stretch goal to lose 4 pounds per month. Setting a more specific goal allows the individual a better chance to see the goal to fruition. So, goals must have a certain degree of difficulty to motivate you to move towards goal attainment. Too easy makes you lazy. Too hard might be discouraging. So make sure your goals are not so challenging that it can't be done. But goals that are challenging keeps you moving, keeps you going forward, giving you a little bit of that extra oomph. It helps you develop self-discipline so you can work through those challenges. It teaches you to know yourself. If you are a procrastinator, make sure your goals align so you still get work done. I have a tendency of procrastinating. So I have a checklist that if I can get 3 of these things done today, it's a win for me. I choose the most important things that I need to get done, and I make sure I get it done. Once I check that list, I feel like I've accomplished something. So I reward myself. Part of the challenging part of setting goals is that you should reward yourself when you reach certain milestones. So you lost 4 pounds this month. Hey, maybe you can get you some ice cream, low carb ice cream, that is. Give you something, a treat, or go to the movies or take a trip somewhere. Go to a restaurant of your choosing, or something to give you a little bit of put some human in it, so you don't feel so stuck. Make sure you research what you're about to embark, so you're realistic about your challenges. Sometimes we don't do the research and we end up having too high of a challenge or too big of a challenge, and it just throws us off course, and we get discouraged and then we quit. So make sure in your goal setting that you have realistic challenges, that you researched what it takes to get your goal done, so that you can set a plan and achieve that plan. Commitment speaks for itself. You must be committed to achieve your goal. Listen, do you really want to achieve your goal? If you really want to achieve your goal, then you have to show commitment. Your desire must be intentional. Being accountable to someone else increases the likelihood of goal attainment. So find someone you can be accountable to. I have people that I'm accountable to. I didn't do this on my own. I set a plan and they held me to that plan. They helped me achieve my goal. I had accountability partners in my doctoral program. I have accountability partners as a nursing home administrator. Be careful, however, you don't have anyone in your camp poking holes in your boat while you are rowing. So be careful who you surround yourself around. Sometimes people don't have good intentions for you. And so you could be rowing the boat and they're in the back poking holes and you're going nowhere. These people could be family, they could be friends, they could be acquaintances, co-workers. It doesn't matter who they are, what relationship they are to you. Make sure that they align with your vision and your goals, and they're not in the back of your boat poking holes. Feedback. You have to set up a way to monitor your progress towards goal attainment. You must check on your progress. For example, if losing 50 pounds seems to be too difficult, then you can adjust your goals so that you're still winning. Again, this is your progress. Recently, about a year and a half ago, I had to take a short break from my doctoral program because I was having a series of panic attacks. Remember, I am a combat veteran and I do have PTSD. And so I got to a point where I couldn't do any work. So I had to take a break, and my classmates helped me get through. My accountability partners helped me make it, and we graduated together. And we rented an Airbnb and had our graduation at the same place because it was COVID. So sometimes your goals, things come in your life that might hinder you from getting your goals. That's all right. Take a break, reassess, keep moving. Self-care is important to goal attainment. So monitoring your progress along the process will allow you to adjust your goal to maintain a consistent trajectory towards goal attainment. This applies to business, healthcare. If you're in healthcare like I am, staffing models, all those kind of things, monitoring those progress helps you achieve them. If you don't monitor them, you don't know if you're doing good or bad. So the last one is task complexity. Allow a time to overcome the learning curve associated with the level of difficulty with your goal. I'm going to say that again. Allow a time for you to overcome the learning curve associated with the difficulty of your goal. So whatever your goal is, what does it take to get there? How difficult is it going to be? What do I have to learn? Who do I need to have in my camp to help me? What mentor do I need? Who's already traveled that road that I can lean on and ask some questions about? Setting a level of difficulty that is unattainable or too difficult may discourage you to continue. It's sort of like lifting weights in the gym. If you are able to comfortably lift 100 pounds and you set your goals to lift 250 pounds, that may discourage you. And subsequently, you will give up and you'll stop going to the gym. Rather, set your goal to 120 pounds and increase gradually to your goal of 200 pounds. There you have a better plan, and you're always winning. You always want to be positively moving forward. Never look at it as a failure, as negativity. We always can learn from our failures. So I'm going to give you an example. My brother was a career martial artist. When I joined the military, he got into martial arts heavily. He's 10 years younger than me. He's married with one son. However, the karate school took a turn for the worse, where he was barely making an income. He called me and spoke with me about changing his career field. I asked him, what motivates you? What do you enjoy? What is your personality type? Are you a people person? He answered all the questions. It was a bit uncomfortable at first for him. He decided he wanted to follow in his big brother's footsteps by going into healthcare. I threw some professions at him. Of course, I threw respiratory therapy because that's where I was. So I did my best to get him to join my field, but he didn't like mucus. I commented to him and I said, well, I don't like mucus either. Nonetheless, he looked into physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing, radiology, x-ray technician, physician, and physician assistant. He did his research. He decided on the physician assistant school, PA school. We then reviewed all the PA schools and their requirements. We measured it against what he currently had as a past student. We looked at the outlook on the jobs for the profession for the next 20 years. We looked at where he was in terms of finance, education, relationship, spirituality, and self-care. He set his sights on the PA program. I began preparing him for the interview, and he got in. Now he had to get ready for the exam. So I grilled him on the exam, and he passed the national exam. We set another goal again for him to get work. We decided, I told him, discuss it with your wife, decide what area you want to live in, what kind of income you want, what type of PA you want to work in, and where the needs are, and make a decision. He did just that. And now he is currently a cardiothoracic PA in Land O'Lakes, Florida, making well over 6 figures. It's time for you to make a decision to move. Identify what motivates you. Identify what you want. Identify where you are. Declare the goal. Choose the path you will take. Get an accountability person and get moving. Check in to ensure you are making the necessary progresses. If not, adjust your goal and keep moving until you make it. So I gave you my brother's example, but I didn't give you mine. I am also a martial artist. My brother's a 5th degree black belt. I'm currently preparing for my 3rd degree. But to become a black belt, you first must start as a white belt. And we have a quote that we say in martial arts that a black belt is a white belt that never quit. In the succession to become a black belt, there are 9 belts that you have to achieve first. When you get to the brown belt, brown and red belt, there are 2 stages of each. So it's brown belt recommended, brown belt decided, red belt recommended, red belt decided, black belt recommended, black belt decided. So each of these belts have a particular curriculum with required training that you must accomplish to progress to the next belt. Depending on the school, testing is conducted every 6 weeks, of which you must attend classes at least twice a week to prepare, learn, and master the material. As you can see, martial arts is a good way to learn the principle of goal setting and achievement. It is even particularly beneficial for children to learn at a young age the idea of setting a goal and working towards achieving their goal with consistency, persistency, commitment, and determination. Likewise, we should attack our goals in the same fashion. I started out as a combat medic. I came back from war, became a respiratory therapist. It took me almost 20 years to get my bachelor's degree, between traveling, between deployments, between divorce, between raising children. It took me a long time. And finally, in 2012, because I was persistent, I had a goal, I had a determination, I had a heart to persevere. I graduated with my bachelor's. 2 years later, I got my master's. 2 years later, I had my doctorate. I have reinvented myself several times. I've worked as a respiratory therapist for almost 28 years. I switched gears and became a nursing administrator in 2016. Became a professor in 2018. So the principles that I've shared with you today is what I use to accomplish what I've done so far. And I hope it has helped you also. Listen, so far we've gone through 5 principles of goal setting for career advancement and development. Now you are capable of applying all these keys into your life to make significant advancement towards achieving your goal. But let me remind you, no one great ever achieved anything alone. No one did it by themselves. I have a mentor. Actually, I have several. Just like I have a coach, so should you. I have had mentors, and I continue to invest in mentors because they help me to accelerate. I'm here in front of you teaching you on goal setting because I have a mentor that pushed me. What I've done for you is a career audit, which is one-to-one session with me. And I invite you, if you're serious, I know that there will be a percent of you that are not, but if you're serious about really moving forward, or maybe shifting your careers, or maybe it's a move up, I'm here to help you. If you're serious about advancing your career, I invite you to book a career audit with me, absolutely free, for a limited time. I typically charge about $175 for that, but this is free. When we are done, you will have crystal clarity on what you need to do and how you need to move forward to get to your next goal. I may dive into your mindset, your quality of life, salary potential, your past, and listen, trauma. Trauma is a big deterrence to achieving your goal. I'm consulting a CFO right now, a chief financial officer out of Oregon. And this woman freezes every time her boss speaks to her, simply because he reminds her of how her father treated her. Trauma will prevent you or deter you from reaching your goal. It'll make it very hard, and we can unmask that and work through it. I'm working through it with her, and she's doing a wonderful job improving. Even if your past doesn't support the career you want, perhaps we can extract your skills that are transferable so that you get a foot in the career you want. For me, before I became an administrator, I was at a crossroads. I was a respiratory therapist. I had maxed out in my salary potential. I was figuring out my next move. Many people said, many of my um, colleagues said, you would make a great leader, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, okay. So what I did was I went and took a personality test and I discovered who I was. And I was like, wow. And after that personality test, it shot out a bunch of salaries, a bunch of careers that would work with my particular personality. And so it also gave the salaries. And so what I did was I only kept the ones that I wanted that had the salary that I wanted. And here I am today, making the salary I wanted based on that personality test and operating, listen, I'm operating in purpose, in purpose. I love what I do. I love helping others. My personal vision is to lead leaders and help others identify and work through their individual goals so that they can impact social change. That's my personal vision. And it aligns with what I'm doing today. It aligns with me being a nursing home administrator. It aligns with me being a professor. It aligns with me being a business consultant. So my question to you is, what you're doing now, does it align with what you with your purpose, with your vision, with your personal mission? Do you have a personal mission? Perhaps we need to talk about that. So I'm prepared to share with you and help you through that through a career audit. It's a free consultation, and you can book it on my Calendly and we can talk further. I would like to right now open this up for any questions that you might have. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot at me. Any questions? No questions at all. So tell me, was this helpful? How can you not allow distractions to hold you back? Good question. It depends on your distraction, really. Some distractions you could just ignore and keep moving. You know, Toyota Kata, their style of leadership is that they analyze every movement of the process, study, do, act. And it's sort of like going up a stair. If you're going up a flight of stairs and there's an object on the stairs, do you stop and go back? No, you readjust yourself and keep going up the stairs and you get past that distraction. But it all depends on distraction. Sometimes family's a distraction. Sometimes friends are a distraction. So you have to have those hard conversations about your distractions. Okay, family can offer you support, but in my case, family causes drama. Okay, good. That's a good point. I'm gonna be a little transparent with you. That was my scenario as well. When I started my master's program, it was always, what are you doing? When are you going to be there? How long are you going to be on this and that? So I decided that I was going to communicate a little bit better. So I sat my family down and said, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. This is what it takes to accomplish it. I even had them in my class looking at what I was doing. And once I did that, it was okay. But what I did do is I gave them their time. You know, in the midst of me doing my master's and even my doctorate, I still did 80 to 90% of the cooking. I still hung out. We watched our shows. And I would be like, hey, I can only watch this one show with you today. And right now, then after this show's over, I got to go to the office. You know, so I was able to do that. And I got even more support knowing that they understood what I was doing. Was that helpful? We may have to talk offline about a little more than that. Great, awesome. Any other questions? The personality test was very helpful for me. I did the personality test. It really showed me where I was. You see, when you are, let's take, for example, you're in your car and you're driving to Atlanta. You don't know where Atlanta is. So you use your navigator, you put the address in, that's your goal. And then what do you think the navigator does then? See, before it can take you anywhere, it has to identify where you are. Once it identifies where you are, then it will give you a bunch of different routes that you can take to meet your goal. You could take the scenic route, you could take the most efficient route, you could take the fastest route. But none of that is possible without first identifying your position on the playing field, where you are in terms of personality, in terms of family, in terms of finances, in terms of whatever. So it's important to take a full assessment of you and where you fit in this world and where you fit in relative to where you want to go. And then once you know where you are, you can put the plans in place to make it work. Any more questions? Hi, Carissa. Good to see you. Was this helpful for you all? Drop in the chat box if this was helpful. Thank you, Carissa, for your comment. Appreciate it. Amber, Amir, Stewart, you got your hand up? Stewart, do you have your hand up? So awesome. Thank you, Amber. So, Amir, your question was, how do you identify the right mentorship? Depends on where you want to be, where you want to go. A transformational coach like myself is pretty general, and I can help you navigate and take you to where you need to be and align you with the right people to help you get where you need to be. But the mentorship specifically could be specific to your field. David Wolf, Dr. David Wolf is my mentor. I spoke with him today. He is on the National Board for Long-Term Care Administrators. I converse with him when I have a problem, when I have a situation, or I just got invited to teach at the Georgia Healthcare Association. So I called him, hey, they want me to teach a class. And so he's mentoring me. He gave me some pointers on what to do and how to do it. And so I'm taking it there. So he's in that field. So sometimes the mentorship needs to be the one in the field or in the industry to help guide you in what you need. And I'm happy to help you find that and navigate that. Good questions, very good questions. Any other questions? All right, so if there are no more questions, I thank you so much for coming and tuning in. I appreciate your time. I know your time is valuable. And I'm very glad that you all came, and I hope that I've imparted into you and given you something that can help you. It has helped me. It has helped many that I've mentored. And so I'm grateful that you guys took the time to spend time with me. Special thanks to my son, Angelo, for showing up. Thank you for being there also. Proud of you, son. Keep moving forward. And if you guys want to reach me, you know where to find me. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I'm happy to help y'all. Please book a time with me on Calendly. I put that link in the chat box for you. And the session is free for a limited time. I typically charge a grip about 175 for that session. So this is my gift to you for attending. Feel free to book a time, and we'll hook up and dive into what matters to you most, and tailor something specifically for you. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you succeed, and I want to see you help somebody else succeed after you succeed. So always paying it forward, always paying it forward. If there are no more questions, I thank you and have a blessed night.